Your mind isn't tired because of life. It's tired because you keep living in a future that hasn't arrived yet. Take a deep breath. Today, we'll learn how to let go of anxiety and allow peace to return right here, right now. We'll move into the first part of today's video, the true root of anxiety, the mind's attachment. Anxiety isn't something that happens to us. It's something that happens within us. It's not the noise of the world that exhausts our hearts, but the way we hold on to things that were never meant to stay. In modern life, anxiety hides behind deadlines, relationships, and even in moments that are supposed to be restful. You might find yourself sitting on the couch, phone in hand, but your mind is already racing toward what might go wrong tomorrow. According to Buddhist wisdom, the real source of anxiety is attachment, our tendency to cling to what feels safe, permanent, or predictable. We attach to possessions, to people, to success, even to the image of who we think we should be. And when reality refuses to match our expectations, anxiety begins to bloom quietly in the mind. Think about it. When you fear losing a job, a loved one, or even your sense of control, what you're really afraid of is change. The mind wants stability in a world that is constantly shifting. Yet the Buddha taught that everything is impermanent. Our thoughts, our bodies, our circumstances. Trying to hold them still is like trying to stop the tide with your hands. The tighter you grasp, the more anxious you become. The Four Noble Truths remind us that suffering, including anxiety, has a cause, and that cause can be understood and released. When we see that our fear doesn't come from the outside world, but from our attachment to it, we start to regain power over our emotions. At the root of it all lies craving, tanha, the endless wanting for things to be pleasant, and the constant resistance to discomfort. The mind keeps whispering, "I need this to stay," or "I can't handle that." And each whisper ties another knot of tension within us. But here's the paradox. The moment we accept impermanence, the truth that everything changes, we begin to relax. Anxiety loses its grip because there's nothing left to protect. Life flows, and so do we. Imagine standing on the shore, watching waves rise and fall. You can either fight the water or you can float with it. Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom, because the ocean was never meant to be controlled, only understood. So as we move deeper, remember, peace doesn't come from fixing life, but from freeing the mind that clings to it. When we begin to see that attachment is the seat of anxiety, a natural question arises. How do we release it? That leads us to the next part of today's reflection. The art of letting go, finding freedom from anxiety. Letting go is often misunderstood. Many believe it means indifference or emotional detachment. But in truth, letting go is deep awareness. It's not about ignoring life, but meeting it with a clear and open heart. To let go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care without clinging, without demanding that life must unfold exactly as you wish. When the mind is no longer chained to outcomes, freedom quietly returns. You become like a tree rooted firmly in the earth, aware of the storm, but not swayed by it. True letting go begins with accepting the present moment as it is. Anxiety often arises from resistance, the constant push against what is, and the desperate pull toward what should be. Acceptance isn't surrender or passivity, it's seeing clearly without the distortion of fear or control. When we stop fighting reality, a quiet intelligence emerges, the wisdom to respond instead of react. It's from that stillness that peace begins to bloom. One of the most practical ways to experience this peace is through breathing with awareness. The practice of releasing through every breath. Each inhale allows us to acknowledge what we're feeling. Each exhale invites us to release what we no longer need. When we practice this daily, even simple moments, washing dishes, walking, sitting in silence, become spaces of gentle freedom. You learn not to react, but to rest in awareness, even when anxiety whispers. There's also a profound shift that happens when we stop seeing anxiety as an enemy and start seeing it as a teacher. Each wave of anxiety carries a message about what we still hold too tightly, an attachment, a fear, an expectation. Instead of pushing it away, we can ask, what is this feeling trying to show me? This inner inquiry transforms anxiety from a prison into a path. It becomes a mirror that reflects where healing is needed, guiding us toward deeper understanding and compassion for ourselves. And finally, freedom is found in simplicity. The more we try to hold, the heavier our hearts become. We fill our minds and homes with endless things, tasks, possessions, expectations, and wonder why peace feels so far away. Simplicity isn't about living with less, it's about needing less. When we release the clutter, both external and internal, space opens for calm to enter. The Buddha once said, "To want little and to know enough is the way to inner freedom." Letting go is not a single act, it's a daily art, a soft discipline of releasing, returning, and resting. And each time we breathe consciously, accept what is, and see anxiety as a guide instead of a curse, we walk a little closer toward peace. When we begin to understand the art of letting go, something profound awakens. A quiet realization that peace is not something to be found, but something to be remembered. And from that still awareness, we naturally move to the next part of today's journey, the teachings of the Buddha, the path beyond anxiety. The Buddha taught that suffering and anxiety are not created by the world, but by the mind's relationship to the world. The storm is never outside. It's the wind within us that refuses to rest. The good news is that this means peace is always possible, because it depends not on circumstances, but on how we see them. One of the most transformative teachings is detachment, or Zali in Vietnamese. Many misunderstand this as rejection, giving up everything or feeling nothing. But detachment, in the Buddhist sense, is freedom through understanding. It means to live fully, to care deeply, yet not to be enslaved by what we cannot control. When anxiety arises, we don't fight it or run away. We simply observe, like watching clouds drift across the sky. The clouds come, they darken, and then they pass. The sky itself, your awareness, remains untouched. This simple shift from "I am anxious" to "I am noticing anxiety" opens an incredible space within. You realize that you are not the storm, you are the sky that holds it. To cultivate this awareness, the Buddha offered a timeless practice, mindfulness meditation. It trains the mind to rest in the present, to come home to what is real right now. When you focus on the breath, feeling the gentle rise and fall, hearing the rhythm of life within, your mind begins to settle. Thoughts about the future lose their grip. You start to see that peace doesn't come from solving every problem, but from returning to this moment again and again. Even a few minutes a day of mindful breathing can soften the edges of anxiety. You don't have to sit like a monk. You can practice while walking, eating, or simply pausing in silence. Each breath becomes a reminder, I am here, I am safe, I am enough. The Buddha also emphasized compassion, especially toward ourselves. So often, when anxiety arises, we react with self-criticism. Why am I like this? Why can't I be stronger? But compassion transforms this harshness into gentleness. To hold your own fear with kindness is to dissolve its power. When you whisper to yourself, "It's okay to feel this," the mind begins to soften. The heart opens. Compassion doesn't erase anxiety. It transforms your relationship with it. Instead of a battlefield, the mind becomes a sanctuary. And in that space, where peace can finally breathe. The teachings of the Buddha are not about escaping life, but about seeing it clearly. To detach is not to abandon, it's to embrace without chains. To be mindful is not to withdraw, but to awaken. And to be compassionate is not weakness. It's the greatest strength of all. Each time you breathe with awareness, each time you observe without judgment, and each time you offer kindness to yourself, you are walking the same path the Buddha once walked. The path beyond anxiety, toward the freedom of a peaceful mind. As we move forward from understanding the Buddha's teachings, let's now explore how to apply them in daily life. Wisdom becomes transformation only when practiced, and that practice begins with meditation, the art of returning home to your breath and observing your mind without judgment. Now we will go to the next part of our journey, meditation techniques for anxiety relief. The foundation of this practice rests on two pillars, mindful breathing and non-judgmental observation. These two elements, when combined, bring calm and clarity to a restless mind. Step-by-step practice. Find a quiet space where you feel safe and comfortable. Sit or lie down naturally. Let your shoulders drop. Let the body soften. Then bring your attention to the breath, your anchor in the present moment. As you breathe in, silently think, breathing in peace. As you breathe out, releasing worry. There is no need to control your breath. Just allow it to flow naturally. When anxious thoughts arise, and as they will, don't fight them. Simply notice them. Imagine each thought as a cloud drifting across the vast blue sky. The clouds may darken, but they always pass. You remain the sky, open, vast, and unshaken. Another gentle yet powerful shift is in how you talk to yourself. Instead of saying, "I am anxious," try, "A thought of anxiety is arising." This simple change moves you from being the storm to witnessing it. The language you use with yourself shapes the space within you. If at any moment the feeling becomes too strong, gently return to your breath. Feel the air enter your body, then leave. This simple act is your safe harbor, a reminder that the present moment is always big enough to hold everything. Along with awareness, practice self-compassion. When you feel overwhelmed, tell yourself softly, "It's okay to feel this way." Anxiety is not a failure, it's a visitor. By greeting it with kindness instead of fear, you help it settle and eventually leave. The result, anxiety doesn't disappear overnight, but through meditation, you stop being a prisoner of your thoughts. You become the observer, calm, steady, and aware. With just 10-15 minutes of daily practice, you begin to build a healthier relationship with your mind, one that is grounded in understanding, not resistance. Each breath, each moment of gentle awareness is a step toward inner peace. Meditation doesn't remove life's storms. It teaches you how to stand in the rain without getting lost in it. As meditation deepens and the mind begins to rest, the next step is not to stay only on the cushion, but to bring that calm awareness into everything we do. The true practice begins after meditation ends, and that's where we shall go next. Part 2.5. Bringing Buddhist wisdom into everyday life. The heart of Buddhist practice lies not in retreating from life, but in living fully awake within it. Every moment, whether we're cooking, walking, or talking to someone, is an opportunity to return home to the present. This is the essence of mindfulness in every moment. When you wash the dishes, feel the warmth of the water. When you walk, feel your feet touching the earth. When you listen, truly listen, not to reply, but to understand. The more your awareness stays with what is, the less power anxiety has to drag you into what might be. One of the most healing practices is emotional awareness. When anxiety arises, don't suppress or fight it. Instead, gently name it. "I am feeling anxious." Just acknowledging it creates space between you and the emotion. That space is freedom. That space allows you to see anxiety is a visitor, not your identity. Another guiding truth is impermanence. Everything changes. Every feeling, every thought, every worry. All are temporary guests in the house of your awareness. When you remind yourself, "This too shall pass," the grip of fear loosens. Anxiety thrives on the illusion of permanence, believing that how you feel now will last forever. But when you see the transient nature of all things, peace begins to return, like sunlight breaking through clouds. Compassion also becomes a living practice. When you feel anxious, instead of blaming yourself, whisper inwardly, "May I be kind to myself in this moment." Understand that everyone struggles. Anxiety is part of being human. The moment you see this shared humanity, loneliness and self-criticism begin to dissolve. And when others make you uneasy, remember, they too are carrying invisible burdens. Seeing them through the eyes of compassion softens your heart and deepens your peace. Then comes meditation in action. True mindfulness is not limited to silence. It breathes through movement. As you walk, breathe with awareness. As you work, feel your hands moving, your body grounded, your breath steady. Even washing a cup can become an act of meditation if your mind is fully present. The goal is not to escape the world, but to move through it with grace and clarity. Over time, as this way of living becomes second nature, anxiety gradually loses its dominance. It no longer defines your days or dictates your peace. Instead, a quiet strength grows, a calm center that remains steady amidst the turbulence of life. And when that peace blossoms, it's not the peace of someone who hides from life, but of one who walks through it awake. That is the living wisdom of the Buddha. Not to run away from suffering, but to transform it into understanding, compassion, and freedom. When the mind quiets, you begin to realize peace was never something you had to find. It has always been here, silently waiting beneath the noise of thoughts, beneath every wave of fear and anxiety. You have spent so long trying to fix, control, and predict life. Yet the truth is, peace comes not from control, but from surrender. Anxiety is not your enemy, it's a messenger. It appears not to punish you, but to show you where you've forgotten to trust, where you've stopped breathing fully, where you've tried to carry the world alone. Every time anxiety rises, it's life whispering, come back, come home to the present moment. In the teachings of the Buddha, freedom doesn't mean escaping emotions, but transforming our relationship with them. When we stop fighting our fear, when we stop judging our sadness, something miraculous happens. Awareness awakens. You begin to see thoughts as clouds, emotions as waves, all passing through the vast open sky of your being. The storm no longer defines you because you are the sky itself, infinite, untouched, and always clear beyond the storm. Take a deep breath. Feel it. With every inhale, you invite calm. With every exhale, you release what you cannot control. This is the heart of mindfulness, to be fully alive here and now, even when the mind trembles. There will still be days when anxiety visits. That's okay. Let it come. Let it stay for a while. Let it go. Just like every breath, it arises and fades. What matters is that now you have the tools, the awareness, and the compassion to meet it with gentleness instead of fear. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are the stillness behind them, the silent witness that watches everything come and go. The more you remember this, the freer you become. And as you walk this path, be kind to yourself. Progress in mindfulness isn't about perfection. It's about returning again and again to presence, to gratitude, to breath. Every small moment of awareness is a victory. Every gentle breath is a step toward freedom. So if this message touched your heart, pause for a moment before you leave. Close your eyes, take one conscious breath, and share in the comments below. One thing I will let go of today is, your words might inspire someone who needs light in their darkest hour. Thank you for being here, for choosing to listen, to breathe, to awaken. In the next video, we'll go even deeper into the art of living with calm, exploring how to face uncertainty with clarity and inner strength. Until then, breathe gently, live slowly, and remember, peace is not something you chase, it's who you already are.